Hello and welcome to another show. I'm Ronnie and That's the Story, and this week we've got stories, we've got songs, we've got competitions, we've got ways for you to win, but let's start it all off with Millie Moderation.
Manic Michael was manically organised. His day was divided into a series of schedules and sessions, and he energetically bounced himself out of bed at exactly 5:30 a.m. every single morning. Manic Michael did everything the right way, from his strict exercise regime to his fanatically healthy diet. His day was divided into a timetable of structured events and activities, and he was very, very serious. Moseying Molly, on the other hand, just liked to mosey about with no real idea as to what the day ahead may bring her, and no particular ambition. Moseying Molly got up when she was good and ready, and sometimes that wasn't until after lunch. And Moseying Molly cruised her way through life, doing whatever she felt like doing and eating whatever she wanted to eat. Generally achieving not very much of anything at all. Moseying Molly couldn't comprehend her neighbour Manic Michael and his mad rushing around, and likewise, Manic Michael couldn't understand why Moseying Molly would just fritter her days away, gaining absolutely nothing at all. Manic Michael and Moseying Molly were thus sworn enemies. But all of this was about to change, as Millie Moderation happily moved herself into the house that sat right in between the homes of Manic Michael and Moseying Molly, right in the heart of Middletown. Now, Millie Moderation was nothing if not a born keeper of the peace, and with her moderate temper and her charming disposition, it wasn't too long before Millie decided to do something about the sparring Michael and lackluster Molly. Manic Michael, Millie decided, was, well, just far too manic, and Moseying Molly was, to put it kindly, completely incapable of getting anything done at all. There had to be some middle ground. Moderate Millie decided there was only one thing for it. A moderation meeting had to be held, mediating between the two known enemies. The meeting was scheduled for the following Monday morning. Monday morning rolled around. Manic Michael turned up exactly on time, having scheduled the meeting into his diary. Moseying Molly was a little bit late, not having rushed to arrive. But Moderate Millie was thankful that she had at least turned up. Moderate Millie began to mediate as Manic Michael voiced his frustrations at Molly's lack of activity. Moderate Millie mentored as Molly vented her spleen at Michael's obsessive behaviour and lack of relaxation. And for many, many minutes, Millie, Molly and Michael tried to negotiate some midway points. The meeting went on for hours, the other residents of Middletown perplexed as to what was going on behind Millie's closed front door, but eventually the three emerged triumphant. The very next day, Moseying Molly joined Manic Michael for a much more relaxed 7:30 a.m. jog around the park. They followed this with a casual breakfast with Millie, and then the three new friends enjoyed a round of mini-golf. As the weeks rolled by, Manic Michael began to chill out, and Moseying Molly began to schedule in some routine and exercise, and both of them felt substantially better for it. They soon became the very best of friends, with Millie of course, and Millie, like the other residents in Middletown, was very happy that finally some middle ground had been met. As Millie Moderation always said, moderation is the key to a happy and successful life, and both Michael and Molly had to agree.
Who am I? Interesting game. I give you a whole lot of clues. From those clues, you try and guess who it is that I'm talking about. Here come those clues.
What's his name? What's she called? I think I know who that is. Who could it be? Let's wait and see what the clues are to this quiz.
Her parents were Scottish. She was born in England. She moved to New Zealand aged 20. She led New Zealand in the fight for women's right to vote. Her face is on a New Zealand $10 note. She helped start petitions that gave women the right to vote. The winning petition that gained women the right to vote was 270 metres long. She designed a national women's suffrage magazine. She got involved with a large group of women who fought to restrict the use of alcohol. Her birth name was Catherine.
What's his name? What's she called? I think I know who that is.
Now, do you think you know who that is? If you think you know who it is, head along to our website, that'sthestory.co.nz. Click on Contact Us and send me your answer from there. There will be a prize for the first correct answer. Now, let's go and find out what Norbert and Milo are up to.
Norbert and Milo went out to space.
Ah, Norbert, there you are.
Mrs. Grimbottom, what are you doing here?
Well, I haven't seen you in class for a while. Perhaps you just have something better to do than school,
That's right, I'm too busy.
Oh?
I have to finish this rocket ship so I can get after my joke robot.
That thing? You don't need him. I know all the best jokes. Here's a good one. Why did the student eat his homework?
Why?
Because the teacher said it was a piece of cake. All right, Norbert. Less time tinkering with this toy, more time learning. See you in class tomorrow.
I should have built this rocket a long time ago.
Made by
Don't forget, if you'd like me to do a shout out to you and your mates, all you have to do is head along to our website, that'sthestory.co.nz, click on Contact Us and send me a message from there. Don't forget to ask Mum and Dad first, however. Now, let's have another story.
Jack was moving house, not by himself. He was only 6 years old. That would have been weird. No, Jack was moving house with his family. They packed up their furniture and toys and clothes and stuff from their old house and piled all the boxes into a big moving truck and then unpacked everything in the new house. It was much bigger than their old house, and Jack got his own bedroom. Jack was driving to the shops, not by himself. He was only 6 years old. That would have been weird. No, Jack was driving to the shops with his mother. They were off to buy the groceries for the week, and Jack liked to help his mum by steering the shopping trolley around the supermarket, pretending it was a Formula One racing car. Jack was flying to Australia, not by himself. He was only 6 years old. That would have been weird. No, Jack was flying to Australia in a 737 with his family. There was a proper pilot doing the actual flying. They were going on holiday to visit Jack's cousins. Jack was going to the movies, not by himself. He was only 6 years old. That would have been weird. No, Jack was going to the movies with his friends Tim and Matt's mum. They had popcorn and ice cream and watched a cartoon. It was great. Jack was going out for dinner, not by himself. He was only 6 years old. That would have been weird. No, Jack was going out for dinner with his grandparents who were visiting from Taihape, and his mum and dad and sisters. They went to a restaurant that had puzzles and games on the placemats, and Jack had a fizzy drink that looked like a traffic light. Jack was going to the tip, not by himself. He was only 6 years old. That would have been weird. No, Jack was going to the tip with his dad. They had a whole trailer load of rubbish and junk from moving house. Jack loved going to the tip, even though it smelled really bad. Jack was going to the museum, not by himself. He was only 6 years old. That would have been weird. No, Jack was going to the museum with his class at school. They were studying insects and went to see the bugs and creepy crawlies of all different sizes that were kept in special cabinets in the museum. Jack was riding a bike. Of course he was doing that by himself. He's 6 years old, you know.
Okie diddly dokie, the world premiere of my brand new music video, Cool Crazy Cat. It looks a little bit like this.
I'm a cool crazy cat, I'm the top of the heap. I'm a cool crazy cat, number one in the street. I'm as cool as a lolly and I'm just as sweet. I'm a cool crazy cat and my name is Pete. I always land on my paws. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a cool crazy cat that everyone adores. I like to eat, I like to sleep, I like to sneak around. I like to hang out in the garden where I can't be found. I like to scream at other cats, I really like the sound. I like to sniff around in bins all over town. I like to sneak, I like the street. I'm a cool crazy cat and my name is Pete. See that tree over there, that's mine. You wanna have a climb, that's fine. I like to climb to the top. Let's go higher, man! Until I nearly drop. Let's go higher, man! I like to eat treats, I always land on my feet. I'm a cool crazy cat and my name is Pete. I like to eat treats, I always land on my feet. I'm a cool crazy cat and my name is Pete. Me? Ow!
Oh, blimey, that was one extraordinarily crazy cat. Now, let's have a story about a mouse trap. I'll give you a chance to win something straight after the story. Keep on listening. He didn't really like the idea of actually killing a mouse. Killing just wasn't in his nature. And as for a mouse, well, he couldn't think of anything worse. Such a delicate, tiny, wee creature. How could anyone consider killing such a helpless, wee creature? No, that just wasn't an option. Nigel was going to build something that could not only catch the mouse, but treat it with a little bit of respect and dignity. His trap was basically a cardboard box, an old shoebox actually, with a flap that opened inwards. Not only inwards, he had taped a skewer across the flap on the outside so it would only open inwards. Inside the shoebox was some fried bacon. Apparently mice like fried bacon. There was some nice soft cotton wool for it to sleep on, a dish of fresh cool water, a battery-operated Relaxomatic massage recliner chair, a mouse-sized widescreen full HD LED smart TV, a teeny-weeny fridge with every snack a mouse could ever want, and yes, a flushing toilet. Mouse-sized. The trap was set and ready to go. Nigel just needed to wait. He went to bed that night and slept well, knowing he was going to catch the mouse, but no harm would come to it. Unfortunately, it was the exact opposite of harm. The mouse was about to experience luxury on an epic scale. The next morning, Nigel inspected his mouse trap, and indeed, there inside was a mouse, relaxing happily in the Relaxomatic massage chair, watching a very mousy movie on the mouse-sized widescreen TV. Nigel took the trap and the mouse out to the field behind the house, over the stream that ran past the field, through the bush and out the other side to the meadow 3 kilometres away from his house, set it free and went home. 2 days later, the mouse was back. Trap set again, off to bed. Next morning, mouse was back in trap, relaxing happily in the Relaxomatic massage chair, watching a very mousy movie, eating a very mousy snack. Nigel took the trap and the mouse out to the field behind his house, over the stream that ran past the field, through the bush and out the other side to the meadow 3 kilometres away from his house, set it free and went home. 2 days later, the mouse was back. This happened for 2 months, and Nigel just couldn't get rid of this mouse. Until one bright morning, he had a thought. If the mouse likes his mouse trap so much, perhaps I should just make this a more permanent fixture. So, he wallpapered the interior of the shoebox with a lovely meadow scene, added a larger mouse-sized fridge, a very comfy mouse-sized 4-poster bed, a treadmill because every mouse needs their exercise, and invited the mouse to stay. And stay it did. And Nigel and his new roommate lived happily ever after, until the stray cat turned up. But that's another story altogether. I'd love you to draw a picture of that incredible mousetrap. If you would like to draw a picture of that mousetrap, go ahead and do it. Have your parent or caregiver or teacher take a photo of that picture. Head along to our website, that'sthestory.co.nz. Click on Contact Us and you can upload your picture from there. I will choose one of those pictures and you will win a $100 art pack from Gordon Harris, and it is a very cool art pack too. Now, let's go for a walk.
Lulu and Panya were going on a walk. And not just any old walk either. Uncle Hemi was taking the girls on a bushwalk through the reservation area that backed onto Uncle Hemi's farm. The girls were well prepared. Auntie Sheila had smothered them in sunblock, and they had a small backpack each that held a bottle of water and an apple. Lulu had been made to put on shoes and socks, even though she went barefoot most of the time. Panya had on her brand new gym shoes. She'd got them for her birthday last week. It was 10 o'clock and time to set off. The girls followed Uncle Hemi and his farm dogs Sam and Rosie. They trekked over the fields and climbed over the gate at the back of the paddock, and then down, 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 down into the trees. It was cool and shady under the canopy. A tui sung up in the branches of a rimu tree. A small fantail fluttered around Pania's head, and they noticed a tiny skink quickly scuttle under a rock. Uncle Hemi pointed out things of interest as they walked along the dappled pathway, the dogs running ahead and wagging their tails. Lulu and Pania liked it down in the bush. It was nothing like home, where the roads were busy and the land was built up and crowded with people. Here in the bush, things were slower, quieter, and nature was king. Uncle Hemi pointed up in the trees to a large bird's nest, and then showed Lulu the holes in the tree trunks where the puriri moth lived. Uncle Hemi, Lulu and Pania, and the 2 farm dogs, Sam and Rosie, walked in the bush at the back of Uncle Hemi's farm until it was time for lunch, and then ever so slowly they meandered their way back to the wooden farmhouse nestled up on the hill, the dogs panting and their tongues hanging out. Lulu and Pania had enjoyed their walk immensely, and as they all sat around the big kitchen table, eating a spread of scones, cheese and pickles, they told Auntie Sheila all about the wonderful things that they'd seen and heard down in the bush at the back of Uncle Hemi's farm.
That's my lot for another week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, next week is a Halloween special. Do listen out for that one. Lots of spooky fun. Catch you next week. Ka kite anō.
I wanna hear the one about the big old plum tree. I wanna hear the one about the giggly bumblebee. I wanna hear the one about the juggly jumping flea. That's the story that I wanna hear. That's the story. That's the story. That's the story that I wanna hear. That's the story. That's the story. That's the story that I wanna